Podcast time, friends.
Yay!
Here's what's happening in today's podcast. Well, first off, we spend a lot of time talking about movies in the podcast.
Do we? No. On a Friday? Never.
No, it's a lot of us talking about buying movies. It's movies and our money. That's what's really funny, is us complaining about how expensive movies are, but also looking to buy them.
So, we're just conflicted. We don't know what to do.
We don't know what to do. So also in the podcast, we hear about DC Comics' new streaming service and their new show that looks so good.
Wink.
Nudge, nudge. We also talk about Bat Caves, Nikki's take on YouTube music, and her experience with organic deodorant.
Oh, yeah, actually, my arms, well, you'll hear if I've had a problem or not, but I will say my arms have settled.
Okay, well, that's something.
So it seems like we're making our way through the day.
That's something. Also, last but not least, even though you'll hear it first, ketchup.
Okay, let's start it off.
Ta-da!
Ready? Ta-da! Here's the podcast.
Enjoy the podcast. Have a fantastic weekend.
Bye.
Bye.
Dear RadioU, when I was a kid, my parents sent our dog to live on a farm in the country where he could run and play all day. I could ask them for the address if you need somewhere to send the Riot.
It's the worst of the Riot on RadioU.
Something we haven't mentioned on the show this week, and
is that it's Friday?
Well, that's true. That's true because it hasn't been up until right now.
And now we're here.
I have to tell you guys every single detail that ever happens to me in my whole life. That's part of the show. That's the deal I have with my therapist and with my parole officer, and so I come in here and I do that. So thank you guys for being a part of my ongoing reintroduction to society. It's fantastic. I've been trying to go to McDonald's for 3 days.
Why?
And I haven't. I basically allow a single McDonald's morning trip every week, but I haven't been in weeks.
Sure.
And so I tried to go, I think, Tuesday, and the line was just so long that I was like, there's just no way I could ever get in that line. And I was even early, but it was like, forget about it. Yesterday I went, and they just wouldn't come to the window.
Even though it looked open, or there were people there?
Yeah.
They just stick their head in the sand?
I guess.
In the fries?
I guess. So I was just like, you know what? I'm not even going to bother getting upset. I'm just going to go, and I brought some toast.
Sure.
I'll just have some toast. It's fine. I like toast. Toast and coffee. Good morning. So this morning I went again, same McDonald's. They come to nobody's coming to the window, and I was like, it's fine. They have 60 seconds.
So they're not coming to the window
to the drive-thru thing.
Okay.
Good morning, sir. Can I help you? That
all right,
thing.
I gotcha.
So not the window. So do that, go around, pay for it, no big deal. Go up. They hand me a Diet Coke, which, yes, I had that. And the lady has to go get my sausage biscuit. And I kind of wait, and she comes back. Now, let's keep in mind I'm the only person. There's not even anybody behind me.
Sure.
It's no big deal. The lady comes back with my sausage biscuit. And I was like, hey, can I get a pack of ketchup for that? And she looks at me and goes,
oh, boy. Well.
And shakes her head.
You just for ketchup?
And then she reaches over and grabs, I just asked for a single packet. She grabs like a handful and throws it in the bag.
Oh, gosh.
And hands it to me and gives me the eye.
The look.
And I was just like.
I just needed one. That was it.
I was just one of those moments where I was like, I'm sorry. And if I had known just how much this would have been a problem for you, I wouldn't even have asked for it.
How could you?
I wouldn't have even have asked.
Don't you find sometimes you go to a place where it's like, do you think if I wasn't here, you'd be just happier because you wouldn't be doing anything?
Wouldn't it be better if you had no customers at all?
I think that's truly it.
It was such a great moment because I was like, seriously, I just want
You should have just taken the rest out of the bag and handed them back.
In the window.
Well, not even throw them. Just nicely hand them back to her. Say, oh, I just needed one ketchup.
Just one.
But I didn't need the whole thing.
It's just funny. I was amazed at the level of inconvenience that I posed in that moment. And I actually felt a little bad. I was just like, you know what?
You could eat it plain.
My level of interest in the request, if we had our little cards to help us understand, my conflict level right now is a 1. It's plain, it's clear, there's no conflict here. Yours was a 5. It's red, it's angry. If I would have known that what my request at a 1 was your request at a 5, I would have never even made it. I would have been fine. I would have either come to the radio station and gotten ketchup, because we have some. I mean, I was going to eat it in the car, but I'll eat it in the break room. It's fine. No big deal.
I can wait.
But
now you know that you should have taken the rest of the ketchup, put it in your car somewhere, and then you don't have to ask again.
Yeah, that's a great
You're
idea.
only inconveniencing the one person.
Storing ketchup in my car, that is not something about that feels just
Right?
like it's
Right.
It feels
right.
right, but it also feels like, a friend comes like, why does it smell like ketchup in here? No reason.
No problem.
The packet's exploded.
Well, I'm sorry on their behalf. You didn't do anything wrong. You were just asking for ketchup. That's it.
I kind of want to apologize, but then there's that part of you that's like, what? It's ketchup.
I didn't do anything.
It's a restaurant. I wanted ketchup. Like, good thing I didn't ask for a napkin.
That would have been too much.
One of the only things left that isn't owned by Disney. The Riot on Radio U.
You know what I hate to do? I hate to pile on. I really do. You see somebody that's down. Someone just asked them for ketchup, and they're obviously very upset. And
then you go rolling through asking for something else.
Or, another example, you release a movie like Justice League, and, you're down. And then somebody comes along and just kicks you right after that. But, man, come on. Yesterday, Warner Brothers unveiled their DC Universe subscription thing.
So their comic book thing.
Well, remember that it's like comics and video.
Okay.
So you're going to pay $8 a month. That was the big question. Everybody wanted to know what it was going to cost. So you pay $8 a month, and you're going to get access to a bunch of comics. It won't be as big as Marvel Unlimited, but you get a bunch of comic books. And it's their new video streaming service. So they're like, hey, we got a bunch of old school like TV shows and stuff that are going to be in there. And I think it's like the old Wonder Woman show. And I can't remember any of the other ones off the top of my head, but whatever.
So they don't sound too big of ones.
Well, here's where it gets to me. Just like, are you serious? One of the things they're going to have is a show called Titans. So think a CW.
Attack on?
No, like different, and I'm going to help you. Okay. Titans would be
Teen
like
Titans.
the Teen Titans.
Yeah,
So
Teen
like
Titans.
that. Think that cartoon
Yeah.
that you're familiar with, but think like a dark, gritty reboot featuring Robin and a few of the other characters, but it's live action.
Sure.
And it looks very CW.
When did they do this, or are they going to?
Well, they did the teaser trailer or whatever yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and this is only going to be available on this streaming service. It looks
That good?
terrible. It looks terrible. And I know they're excited about it.
Yeah.
And I already I wasn't interested. And then at one point Robin says blank Batman.
Yeah.
It starts with an F. You fill in.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I was just like,
they're making it very mature, aren't they?
No, I
well,
know.
because it's got no broadcast anywhere, so they can do whatever they want.
At the beginning of the trailer, like, this trailer is for mature audiences, and 13-year-olds everywhere are going to be so... Actually, that's too young, or too old. 10-year-olds everywhere are going to feel so mature when they see what happens. It looks...
They're filming it very dark, meaning the
There's
lighting.
no lights.
There's no lights. And we've seen this trick before. They try to make it so that the production doesn't look as bad.
Yeah, when we watched Titanic 2, the entire movie was so dark you
It
could...
was like some points you're like, I can't see anything. But they're in a lit hallway. You're like, why can't I see anything?
Terrible.
Oh, I see what it is.
Yeah, it just looks bad. So again, I hate to kick them while they're down, but oh man,
So no go on that one.
When I saw the trailer, it was like, oh guys, didn't you listen when people complained about the other stuff? And they're like, no, double down. You thought that was dark?
So-
Wait till you see how dark this can get.
So that's a pass on Titans, and that's it.
It's like a bummer. It's just one of the things like, oh, that's too bad. Okay, Nikki, here's the other stuff in their streaming service. They'll have the original Superman movies with Christopher Reeve, Batman the Animated Series, which is actually very good, the original Wonder Woman TV show, and a bunch of animated DC movies.
Sure.
And there's like a bunch of those because I've seen them on
They're just random.
They're on Hulu now.
So for
that's where-
$7.99 a month.
Plus tax, of course.
That'll be iOS, Android, with TV streaming as well. I think it's great to know that I have an upcoming streaming service that I'm not tempted to join.
There you go. You know, you broke up
I'm
with two streaming services yesterday.
Getting stronger, right?
Yep. We're all real impressed.
Unless you like some of that, then you have a new one.
I'll tell you, there's a chance they might get me for a month because I would like to read some of the comics.
Sure.
But the video options seem pretty rough. Tiger Drive.
Pretty rough?
Very rough.
Very
Okay.
rough.
I'm not so much mad about what they say. I'm mad that they think any of us want to hear it. It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
You know, it's been a weird week because it's had good and bad. Good has been, hey, I got a couple of Blu-rays in that Amazon sale. You know what I'm saying?
Blu-rays.
Oh, I got 4K Blu-rays.
You got 4K ones.
So that's exciting, right?
Yeah,
I love that. I love that.
Big stuff this week.
But then, you know, I've had some down moments where I had to just pay for some stuff that was so much money.
Very grown-up-y.
It's just ridiculous, and I hated it. And I'm still, like, every once in a while I think about it, and I'm like, oh, gosh. Man. So I woke up this morning, and I'm still doing the morning run thing, and I got up to go for my run, and it was just like, come on! Can't we just not? Can't we just rest? And that's when I hit that moment where I was like, you know what? We're coming to the end of the work week, and we're ready for a little...
I think we're feeling it a little bit.
Ready for a little downtime, ready to relax.
We're almost there.
And here's what I started thinking about. I would say many of us, if not all of us, are probably there, right? You're at the end of the week. You're looking for the weekend.
Perhaps it's what we're calling hitting the wall.
Yeah. So you're ready for a break. And I always think that's an interesting moment when you hit that on a Thursday night or a Friday or whatever when you're ready for a break. Because here's what I've noticed. Have you ever noticed that when you look back on bad relationships or whatever, when you're really tired, when you're awake and you feel great, you remember the bad things. But when you're really tired, you just remember the good things. Like whether it's a relationship or something you're trying to quit or whatever. So like when you're feeling good, you're like, I don't need a chocolate chip cookie because they're stupid.
They don't make me happy.
That's not the source of happiness. Let's go running.
But then if you're tired and sad and just broke down.
Do you remember how you would microwave it and then it would be warm? And you could feel it warm all the way to your tummy? The cookie was the only one who ever loved you. He never talked back to me. That cookie was my friend.
And I ate him.
But he's with me now all the time, and he wants a friend. So look, I'm just saying that a lot of us right now are at that point where we're just remembering the good things about the bad things in our lives. So it's a good time on a Friday morning to take a minute and realize that when we're tired, we are primed to make some poor choices.
Some emotional decisions.
Yeah, so here's the great thing. You need somebody outside of your own circumstances, a friend that's with you to help you remember, hey, that's a bad idea. And you know that that's something God does for me? When I'm tired, I'm vulnerable. I'm in a spot where I'm ready for the cookie or whatever that is, you know, in your own life. And God's there saying, hey, you know what? Let's skip the cookie and let's do something better. Let's do something where you're going to actually rest. Because here's what happens. You get really tired. You do that thing that you don't want to do. Then you wake up because you do end up getting some rest and you go, oh, I did it again. And now you're rested. And you're like, I don't need that cookie to be happy.
And you're back in the circle.
Back in the cycle. Jesus wants to break the cycle in your life. Do you want to break the cycle? Because if you do, you can ask. And I'll even go a step farther and say, even if you're like, I know I need to break the cycle, but part of me doesn't want to, you can actually say to God, I know I need to change, but I almost don't even want to. Can you help me want to? And God will. If you don't have a relationship with Jesus, I want you to know you can talk to him about anything. God's going to go with you anywhere and everywhere you go, and you don't have to be ashamed. God knows that you've done things that you feel shame over. He wants to forgive you, and that's it. It's over. Done. Say, Jesus, I want that. I want you in my life. I want you to fill me with your spirit, and I need to change. I need something different. Could you come in my life, forgive me, change me, show me a different way to do this? This is not a one-time thing, man. God's with you all the time, and whatever is going on today, tonight, tomorrow, whatever, you can talk to God about it right now.
Having a bad day? Blame the riot. Everyone else does. And in fairness, it's probably their fault. Radio U.
I want you to know that 3 minutes ago, 2 minutes and 40 seconds ago, Nikki and I had my favorite moment of the whole week.
Oh, is it? I'm glad you could have that.
It's my favorite moment of the whole week. Well, tell them what you told me.
I told Obie, I was just sitting here like, gosh, my armpits really hurt. Like my shirt's uncomfortable. You know, where you feel like you don't want your shirt touching
to touch your
it.
skin?
Yeah, and you're like, gosh, what the heck's going on? But I switched to organic, like natural deodorant, and I think we have a problem. It was so painful.
Was it
so painful?
Was it painful going on?
Yes, because it's like sandpaper. I don't know if it has like no aluminum and all that stuff.
Well, it probably has a bunch of salt in it, would be my guess.
Yes, it's like rough. And I don't know. I don't know if it's going to work, but it hurts. My armpit hurts.
Now, let me ask you a couple of questions.
Yes.
Do you do a deodorant and an antiperspirant?
I think it's an all-in-one,
okay,
yes.
because, I know.
It's got rose and vanilla.
Okay.
It packaging-wise, I fell for it.
Okay. And does it look like a regular deodorant stick?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
And I got it at Costco, so, I mean, this isn't like some guy making it in his kitchen and then I bought into it.
Okay. Well, how...
It hurts.
So when does it stop hurting?
I don't know.
Does it ever stop?
It was just so rough. Just so very rough.
So now you don't even want to sweat.
I don't even want to do anything. I want to keep my arms up.
And look how much cooler you'll be with your arms
like
in the
I want
air.
to flap my wings. Just is terrible.
Oh my
right
gosh.
one really hurts too. Like super bad. Not like allergic reaction bad, but like
Well,
I'm injured.
it would be interesting to see, like, after
don't
a
wanna
day or
look
two,
at it, but-
you should probably check, like,
No,
to make sure that it's not causing some kind of a reaction.
I can't stress to you when I put it on this morning how bad it hurt because it is just so rough.
Sure, okay.
It was like an exfoliant, like sand
Sure.
stuff, and then I don't know if that's right or wrong. Does anybody else use the deodorant that's, all natural and supposed to be good for us? Is it hurt? Is
Now-
that what's good for us?
Let me ask you, like, do you think that there is a great health benefit to
They
switching
do
to...
say sometimes like you're supposed to, and I mean that's a sensitive area, so
It is.
I don't want to be putting all these chemicals on it. But
Okay.
if the chemicals keep it soft, then I'm going to have to go back to chemicals.
I do deodorant, but not antiperspirant. And so, like, I buy deodorant, but the antiperspirant is what... Now, of course,
They
I'm
smell good,
I'm
but-
sure in straight up deodorant, there's probably chemicals that are bad for you there
Sure.
too. But like antiperspirant is worse because it literally will clog your pores and like all this stuff. So I'm just like, man, let the sweat flow. As long as it don't stink,
Well,
just sweat away.
I'm just going to tell you guys, there's a flag on the play because this might not be something that I can manage every day if my arms hurt like this. I'm trying to be better and make good choices, but
Good choices, Nikki.
boy, sometimes the chemicals help things. So
They didn't put those chemicals in there for no reason at all.
it's in there because my other deodorant was so soft. It was like gliding on. And this, I don't even want to put my arms down. It
Well,
hurts.
Again, like, I'll just tell you, in the last like 5 minutes, the amount of work your shoulder muscles have gotten because you
tense.
you keep flapping those wings.
They're tense, though. And my
And-
shirt, I just don't want my shirt to touch my skin. I just don't want it to touch it. Ow.
Hey, you know what? Can we get this on the back of the product? Can we write out Nikki's endorsement? I don't want the shirt to touch my skin.
Because it burns. And it hurts.
That's a great idea.
But I ran out of my other one, my chemical deodorant, the bad one.
I'll tell you what, I keep some Old Spice, which is what I use, up in my drawer.
Oh, I can't smell like Old
So
Spice.
if you want, it's Old Spice Sport. I really like the way it smells.
I'm afraid if I put that on whatever's happening in my...
It's just going to get worse.
Oh, the burn will be so bad.
Well,
all right,
in
well,
fairness, the other thing you could do is you could just go rinse
Go
it off.
home.
And I would imagine...
take a sick day.
Yeah, you should.
I
You know
want
what?
to tell my boss that.
Hey, I had to take a sick day because organic
It
deodorant.
was aluminum free and whatever else they've been promoting. Gosh, it hurts.
And then Michael's like, oh, I get it. I get that. I had the same thing.
Think I could take it back now?
Do you remember that day my eye was all red? That was
Wow.
organic deodorant.
He put that on wrong then.
Well, his eyes stink.
The Riot was this close from becoming the absolute worst morning show in radio. Yep, they can't even win at losing. It's the worst of the Riot on RadioU.
The most pressing concern this morning is Nikki's organic deodorant that she is trying. Want to say thanks to Amanda for texting us. Remember, she texted. You can text to 877-2-RADIO-U. You can also hit us up on Facebook, or you can call that number and actually talk to us. But Amanda says, I have the same problem with natural deodorant. I just switched, and my armpits hurt so bad some days. I don't know if it's right, but I read it's because it's not an antiperspirant, so it doesn't stop you from sweating.
Yeah, but I'm not doing anything. I'm not like sweating.
Well, yeah, but just skin pressed against skin can be enough to
Sure.
sweat. sweat.
Maybe the shirt.
Yeah. So
I use it's this Schmidt's Rose and Vanilla, and so I pulled it up because I thought for sure it'd have an antiperspirant with it, but I don't see it on the front. So.
Well, it probably technically doesn't, but again, and I'm just speculating, like it may cause
painful.
If there is some salt in it or whatever, that might be the idea would be to help it evaporate. Because one of the goofy things about antiperspirant is the reason you sweat is because, and boy, thanks, Mr. Science. Here it comes.
Thank you, Dr. Obi.
But the reason you sweat is because evaporation is a cooling process. So your body releases water on your skin. That water evaporates, and it takes heat with it as it evaporates. And so as a result, you are left cooler on the surface of your skin.
Yeah.
So your body's able to cool down. That's kind of the way it works. Well, with antiperspirant, it plugs the pores to keep you from sweating. But in reality, that keeps your temperature up. And so you actually want to sweat, and then you just want to get rid of the sweat itself. And so that's why an antiperspirant doesn't work, but a salt would be absorbent.
Well,
so you would still sweat, but it would take in some of the water.
Like I said, it was so gritty putting it on. I just think my skin is sensitive. And Jake, thank you for your text. Just because it's organic doesn't mean it's not made from baby seals.
Hey, baby seals are organic.
So thank you, Jake, for including your contribution to the conversation. It was helpful.
Hey, I appreciate where he's coming from, Nikki. I do.
It'd be softer if it was.
That's right.
My gosh.
I mean, if I'm going to club a baby seal, I at least want it to feel good.
I just want the softness that aluminum deodorant offers. So sad. And I'm out of the other, and I have a 3-pack, and I already threw away the box, so it's not like I can return it. Gosh darn it.
Nikki, I'll tell you what.
These are the big problems.
You don't have to suffer through. You don't have to. I'm gonna give you permission to either throw it away or put it out at your next garage sale or
it's like, listen,
put it
guys,
on
I've never used this.
Craigslist.
It's just so painful. No, I will be strong.
It's great. It's great.
If you're looking for a peaceful start to your morning, you should look somewhere else. It's The Riot on Radio U.
I want to say what's up to Chris. He hit us up on Facebook and sent us a photo of something that maybe we knew this existed, but I had certainly forgot about it, and it's become a top priority in my life since I saw it a few minutes ago.
What was it?
The Post cereal they've got a Chips Ahoy cereal.
Whoa.
Nikki, that's little cookies.
Yes, it is. And I loved Cookie Crisp when I was in school. It was not like younger school, but like.
How much have things changed, really?
Well, mostly when I just moved out, my first apartment.
What? Oh, it was one of those like your mom wouldn't buy them for you, and you're like, Mom, I'm just calling to let you know I bought 100 boxes.
But you
3
realize
cases.
When you start grocery shopping for yourself, that you can buy whatever you want, and you can make those bad choices or good choices. And I remember Cookie Crisp was a real big choice there.
All right. Well, you know what else is in this? I've never seen any of these, so I don't know how I missed them. But
so there's Chips Ahoy cereal.
There's Chips Ahoy. There's Oreo
Don't
O's.
tell me. Well, that one's been around.
Yeah, that's old school. I've
There's
seen that before.
Nutter Butter cereal.
My two that I'm really up for, Nutter Butter cereal. Tell me that doesn't sound amazing.
That sounds amazing.
And the thing is, like, it wouldn't even have to be cereal. That to me could be like chips.
Actually, you know what would be really good? If you ate all these dry and just mixed them together.
Amazing. And then there's Honey Made S'mores cereal. I don't know if they make it anymore, but a couple years ago, I went on a real run of this one s'mores cereal. So it was kind of like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I mean, it was kind of like that, but then it had chocolate marshmallows in it. Oh, Nikki.
Was that good?
It was so good.
Well, I think we need a cereal day.
It was so good. We should. He said that he found it in a Walmart near here.
Okay.
So
we can do that. We can look.
I mean, of course, whatever
Or
Walmart that Nikki and I go to,
we'll send Chris. Whenever he goes, he finds these things.
He always finds the stuff when he goes looking for it.
He has a grocery store that's near him. It's like it's not a discounted grocery store,
No,
but
it's from the 70s.
It's a really old, like, let's just say they're not putting money in the store.
No, but the thing, okay, when's the last time you were there?
I've never been there.
Okay, you need to go because it's a new old store.
Yeah.
It's like walking into a time whatever. It looks like photos of grocery stores from the 70s, but it's new.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird. I've only been there one time, but I just remember being like, what? armpits.
But they have a lot of these items that are like limited edition. They get them for some reason. So
They do. We should get. That's because they care. We should get over there.
let's look for the Nutter Butter cereal, the Chips Ahoy ones, and whatever else we find.
Real talk, we should to ask Chris, because I guarantee you
He'll find it.
Chris would find those for us, and then we could eat them together.
Okay, now here's a last idea for a taste test. We get the cookies as well, and then we taste test them with the cereal, kind of like just to see how well did they come up with it.
I'll tell you what, I haven't disliked anything you've said so far.
That way we can see how close did they get when making the cereal.
Haven't heard a single faux pas in this mess.
So no nose right now.
Recycling paper is like planting a tree. Recycling the riot is like burning down the rainforest.
We ain't gonna be in no fire, not today.
It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
Recently, actually it was this week, the United States Navy, they announced that they are relaxing some of the
they're going to have to relax more.
dress code standards for women in the Navy, allowing ponytails. And that was the only holdout for Nikki.
Was it?
Once she found out that she could go into the Navy and have a ponytail, she was like, all right, guys, anchors away.
I can't do that.
You are going to be a great...
I can't do the Navy.
You're going to be great in the Navy,
No,
Nikki.
I can't.
I think you're going to be great.
I am not tough enough. I'm not Navy enough.
That makes you Sailor Nikki.
Okay,
So-
well, Sailor Moon.
Moon crystal power, make up! Nikki, that's awesome. You're Sailor Nikki.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
I'd watch that cartoon.
That'd be fun.
Okay, so here's the thing. You know how it is with brothers and sisters, right? Like, it's your brother's birthday and he gets a toy, so you get a toy.
Little something, something.
And I know some people are like, that's not how you run a family. Well, some people did, so whatever. But the guys in the Navy are like, hey, if the girls get something, we want something. We want something too. What do you think that guys in the Navy can't have now that they want? Now that the girls have gotten there, they're allowed to have wider buns and
Ponytails?
ponytails.
Can they show tattoos then? Or didn't they change that a while ago? Or can you have piercings? Or can you have a ponytail yourself?
All right, well, these are things I don't know the answer
You don't
to
know?
those.
I don't know what's the rules.
That's, you know what? I really should have been more prepared. What they want is men want beards.
Oh, yeah, you can't have a beard if you're in the... Well, that'll get in the way.
I guess not. Like, I guess you're not allowed to have a beard. I didn't know that.
Well, maybe it's too much. Yeah, I guess it's just too
Well,
much.
there's a hashtag firing up on Twitter, which is we want beards.
Yeah.
And it's guys in the Navy that want a beard. Because apparently back in the day, you could have a beard in the Navy. Because guys are posting pictures of old U.S. Navy guys with beards.
with beards. That's
But
awesome.
These days, you can't have one.
Well, let's fix that.
According to at least this article says it's Navy policy. Handlebar mustaches, goatees, beards, or eccentricities are not permitted. So no beard for you. I don't know. Like, do you think that sailors need beards, Nikki?
Oh, yeah, you can. I mean, beards are such a look on everybody nowadays.
Yeah.
So if you want to get with the times.
Yeah, and that's what the Navy's most concerned about is...
Well, if you want someone to want to go into the Navy, it helps if, you don't have to...
I
lose
see
your
I see
beard.
where you're coming from, but one thing that I will have to say is that if facial hair or ponytails is what's keeping you out of the Navy, to be blunt, you're probably not Navy material.
I don't think that is it. I don't think that's at all. I just think it's more comforting if you can still keep your look.
Because, well, Nikki, you go to boot camp to be broken down. They don't want you to keep your look.
But then you should be able to, once you're done with boot camp, grow it back out.
Listen here, Sailor Maggot. You are not special.
Yes, I am.
You do not get your little...
Come on. Other mornings, you don't yell at me.
Well, that's why... You're not Navy material, Nikki.
I'm not.
So, hey, recruiters, just stop calling now.
Go
Stop
away.
calling now.
I get sick if I don't drive the boat. So it's like if I have to drive the car because I get seasick.
Excuse me, Sergeant. Yes. I see. I got a maggot with a hand up. Go ahead. What do you have to say?
It's a hand up, or are you looking for a handout?
Excuse me, sir, am I going to be able to drive the boat when we get there?
Because I keep looking outside the window, but it's not helping.
Yeah, I got an idea. Why don't we see if you still want to drive the boat after 100 push-ups?
Can I do them on my knees or the one thing?
Girl-style push-ups?
I didn't want to say it that way.
That's what they call them.
No, just the other way.
Here in the Navy, you're not a girl, you're a maggot. And you'll do maggot-style push-ups.
What style is that? Well, I just can't. I can't do it.
You're out?
I'm out.
Okay. FF5.
But I appreciate the people that can.
Fire on the highway.
You're better. Way better.
Hey, high five. Thanks for your service. You are no longer a maggot. Today, you are Marines.
When life is this good, you don't need a vacation. So, get back to work. It's The Riot on Radio U.
If you came to my house and you walked into the back, I'm like a storefront. We got stuff out here, but we got some in the back. That's where I keep my movie collection, and it's embarrassing. That's why I keep it back there, because I don't want you to see it. I don't want you to know about my sad little movie buying habits. I like to buy movies.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It's fine.
We all have things. It's fine.
We all have things. I love to buy movies. I just do. And so Nikki and I this morning, we don't allow ourselves all the time, but we've been wandering through what we call the digital bits. It's a website, and they have this section where you can go through and just scroll and see all the movies that are coming out.
Stuff.
And
it's bad, man. There's hardly anything.
There is nothing.
I just finally clicked out of it.
Oh, you didn't keep going?
Why? There's no point.
I made it all the way to October 30th. Did you?
There's literally nothing on there that I care about.
All right. I saw a couple of things. You know what I didn't do that I wanted to do? It's getting nerdy. I shouldn't even. I'll tell you.
And that's different than what?
All right, fine, all right. Okay, all right. They re-released 2001, which was a movie from the 60s. They did a 70-millimeter print, and it was out in some theaters, the art house theater on campus you never go to. But I wanted to see that. That was back in May. Totally forgot.
Yeah.
And so they're releasing that in October. And I see, Nikki, that you're very excited.
I can't wait. I must have missed it.
I know. I get it. Nobody cares about that.
Oh, boy. I was just thinking, I wondered, because I liked Ready Player One, the book, a lot. And I liked the movie. It was good. But I think I liked it more because it was in the theater and it was a fun one to experience with everybody. But I don't know how well that'll go with a second run through.
I would like to see it one more time.
So I think I saw, it's out mostly places, but I need it to be cheaper. So I'm gonna wait for that to be like a really deeply discounted rental.
Well, I was looking basically Vudu, iTunes, all those. If you want to get it now, it's $20. Otherwise, you can get it rented or whatever next Tuesday.
Sure.
And that's what I was thinking is, you know what? Maybe I'll just rent it. Maybe
I wish we could share rentals, even though they're 24 hours.
I know, that would be nice.
That'd be awesome, because then, you just pass it on to somebody.
We could exchange login information.
We could. That's a sacred thing, though.
It gets a little shady
Your
after that.
login info.
The other thing I saw the other day, I don't know if most people don't, but you and I have a shared ultraviolet library.
Yeah, we do, yeah.
Okay, we'll get a load of this. We don't anymore. I made a big mistake.
What'd you do?
Well, I
never see any of your new stuff anyway, so I don't even think it worked.
So I deleted you from it because I was trying to add people, and I was like, well, what's going on here? I'm trying to figure it out. So I was like, well, I'll delete Nikki and add Nikki, and then I'll ask her, if she saw anything about it. When I deleted you, I went back to add you. They don't let you add people anymore.
They ended that?
They no longer allow digital movie sharing.
Sure.
Even though that was their big hook at the beginning.
It still shows your stuff, but it's all the stuff I don't want. Yeah. It's all your Godzilla stuff and your...
The good stuff?
Your stuff all looks the same.
The good stuff.
You go through it, it's usually 5 or 6 actors
don't say
that are in all of it.
Don't say that.
But it doesn't show any of your newer things that I cared about.
Fine, I got something for you. October 16th, this sounds like you. When Calls the Heart, Season 5.
What is it?
It's called When Calls the Heart.
Oh.
That looks like you.
Sure.
So there's people that are talking about their heart.
Oh, it seems nice.
And it airs on the Hallmark Channel.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
That's not an insult. That's real.
I'm more of if I watch Hallmark or even Lifetime, it's only a Christmas movie, but outside of that, I don't really like the stuff too much.
We could find you some Christmas movies. Hang on, I'll be right back.
Wish the worst of the riot would never end?
Everything that has a beginning pressing in.
What is wrong with you? Get our daily podcast through iTunes, Google Play, or the RadioU app.
So, I don't know if you guys know, but the celebrity charity golf outing that we had scheduled for tomorrow is now canceled.
That is a shame.
Because the Save Hollywood charity is no longer necessary.
Okay.
And I want to thank everybody for the generous donations they've been sending. We were going to be, giving that money, dividing it among the major Hollywood studios because we'd been so concerned about all of the money that they're losing. And think about the service they provide by making movies for us and the hard lives that they have with their exorbitant salaries and the fame that they have to deal with as they
easy.
They go to restaurants and people recognize them, and it's a hard life, Nikki. It really, really is. And so we had been planning.
So the charity has been canceled?
Well, and I'll tell you why is, you don't want to be too wishy-washy, but we just found out that movie ticket sales have reached I don't know that it's an all-time high, but
it feels like it, doesn't
up
it?
Again. All right.
It's a high.
The average price of the movie ticket has gone up again. So in the second quarter of the year, $9.38, according to the National Association of Theater Owners.
It's getting to the point where you really only can afford going earlier in the day or on a special like Tuesday if your theater does that,
Hey,
or
man.
Whatever day.
I got no shame. I'm $5 Tuesday in it all the way.
I was looking for when Mission Impossible comes out, and that's in an ultra screen,
Yeah.
so it's even more expensive.
Well, okay. Why don't we just wait?
That's what I want to do. I was going to ask you because when I put it in the cart, and I just put 2 tickets in there, it was like $40.
Why don't we just wait?
So then I thought,
why
don't we go on Tuesday?
Yep.
Okay,
Let's just
I'm
do
good
that.
for that.
You know what?
Do you see us growing up?
I wanted to ask you that earlier in the week, but I was like, Nikki really wants to go, so don't do that.
And I came to that own conclusion myself when I was like, why is this so much money?
We could go for $5. Why don't we go for $5?
Okay, well, I'm going to look at tickets then. So we're going to wait until that Tuesday, and then we can afford to go see Mission Impossible.
You know what? High five right
Yay,
here.
Look
Yes.
at that.
Let's do
We're
it.
budgeting. We're following through. And I'm going to bring my own snack. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I could see me bringing my own snack.
I
But
got
you know
a
what?
new
I do
big
not,
purse, so it can put everything in there.
I don't want soda. I don't want to get up in the middle of the movie.
Sure.
And I'm telling you, man, when I went to see Ant-Man and the Wasp, I went with some friends and they were like, hey, let us buy you a soda. So they bought me a soda and I drank it. And I experienced...
Because if he didn't, that would have been rude.
Well, and I enjoyed it. I'm not going to lie to you. But about an hour into the movie, the pain started. And I was like, I'll get up and go to the bathroom. I'm like, but I don't want to miss it. So I sat there in agony for an hour and a half. And when I went to the bathroom, I felt like I had to be carried into the bathroom. I was like, I have to go to the bathroom so bad.
Yeah, but you know the movie progression. It's a formula. You
I know.
the downtime before it swings back up towards the end. You could have gone to the bathroom then.
I know. I
It's
could have.
built into the movie.
I could have. You're right. I should have. What we all really need is to just go into...
What?
We just need to go into the movie, buy a soda, and get a catheter, and just
just be fine.
It's fine.
Well, now that they make you sit for literally 30 minutes till the start of it even starts.
We've just installed these in our new recliners. Now you never have to get up.
So Tuesday for Mission Impossible, not this Tuesday, but the following Tuesday.
I can wait 3 days to save
can too.
$15.
I totally can.
What is happening?
We're growing up.
What did we
I'm
just
very
do?
impressed with us.
What did we just do?
And I want you to take note, Hollywood. And you're like, well, why wasn't the opening weekend bigger? It's because we no longer can afford to go opening weekend.
Maybe the charity's back on, guys. The riot's not paying the big bucks. Maybe charity's back on.
All the people going to the movies are the ones that needs the charity.
True that.
Friends by Friends Coke Freestyle Machines. We're all friends, right? It's the Riot on Radio U.
Guys, I got to talk about a personal problem that...
You want us to gather around the radio?
We talked about it yesterday. We talked about it earlier today, I feel like, and I'm back to it. It hasn't even been an hour.
What is it? You're hungry?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
Coffee's good. I don't know why I'm not hungry today, but I'm not. No, okay. We talked about the movie buying problem, right?
Yeah.
Well, I have just crossed over into a potential new problem area. And the thing is, by talking about it, both you and Nikki can help keep me accountable. Okay?
That way, when we see the warning signs, we speak up.
Yeah. And listen, if you have problems in your own life, you should find some friends that can keep you accountable, like Nikki's going to do for me.
I'll be there for you guys, too, if there's anything we can help with.
Now, I don't have it yet, but probably later next week, I will get an Apple TV 4K.
That's a free gift that you got with something else.
Right. I had signed up for something else. It was a TV thing. So like it's coming next week. And I'm actually really excited about it. And I'll tell you why. And this is the heart of the problem is that every couple of days, iTunes they'll put like 10 movies on sale for $5 a piece.
Yeah.
And you're getting them in 4K, Dolby Atmos, like the whole 9 yards. They're $5. That's a problem. Because you know what $5 is for me? $5 is my
it's a no-brainer.
Don't think about it point. So like Nikki and I are going to $5 Tuesday for the movies. We were just celebrating. Hey, we're doing that. That's great. That's because for me, $5 is literally like, oh yeah, it's only $5. That's no big deal. That is the highway to the danger zone. And so,
do you think you shouldn't have got the Apple TV? Even though you didn't buy that, it was like I said, it was a gift. But do you think it's healthy for you to have that in your place?
The one thing I will say is that
keep buying stuff.
I'm kind of excited about the fact like I can rent movies in 4K and it's inexpensive. I mean, it'll be $4 to rent a movie.
And you said they already give you if you have a movie and it's available in 4K.
If you have a movie that you registered with iTunes, that's been a trick because like a lot of the stuff I've registered with Ultraviolet will not be in 4K through iTunes, but that's kind of their thing. And like today, I noticed that, speaking of Mission Impossible, Rogue Nation is on sale for $5 in 4K. And let me tell you what that did right there. It raised a flag. It was like
just a warning.
The smart part of my brain was like, guys, we have got a red alert. We have got to raise the flag. We got to do something because, guys.
But but at least for that, like, hey, that's a great deal, and you love that movie.
See,
and you don't have it in 4K.
See what happens? Do you see what just happened?
You know what I'm going to do for that movie? I'm going to put the flag back down.
Well, you're like, you guys can't see it, but Nikki and I are doing the rope motions for raising the flag. And so Nikki's pulling the flag down, and I'm going just as fast trying to keep it up.
I think that one's fine.
Put it up. Put the flag up.
But yes, it's a warning. You could have too many 4K movies, too.
Look, guys, I don't have time to watch these movies. And yet there's something in me that's like, well, you can't pass that up.
That's a deal.
Which is why.
That's a deal.
That's why we're putting the flag up, Nikki. Putting the flag up. And
that way when you sail past Obi's land, you're like, oh, what's going on over there?
The red flag is up.
Is there a war? You're like, no, it's a caution flag.
That's a caution flag. I just saw ref just threw a flag on the play. Up in the booth, they're taking a look at it right now. Now, I'll tell you what, up in my booth, they're taking a look at it like, hey.
That's a $5 deal right there.
You watch it there.
Okay, so is this every day that they have these deals or every Friday?
I don't know. Like to me, it feels random. I just feel like every few days.
I didn't know when I'm supposed to be looking for, if I need to schedule it or set a reminder.
I think if you check in with me, I'd say every 2 hours, like we should be fine.
Oh, gosh. There's a lot of responsibilities that have been given to me on this side of the table.
Well, as my caretaker, Nikki, I need you to make sure I'm getting my medicine.
Can I set up your credit card for $5 alerts, so then that way I'll hear this noise. I'll be like, he spent $5. That's it.
Calls me. It's not too late to return it. Don't hit play. You take it back.
You're listening to the worst of the riot.
Today sucks.
Radio U.
Let's be honest, guys. I want a bat cave. We all want a bat cave, right? And there may be some of you that are like, I don't really want a bat cave. Like it's not the bat cave. It's the idea of the bat cave.
Sure.
You got a cool car, a huge TV, a kick-butt computer, some trophies, which I don't have any trophies, but if I had some, there'd be trophies, and it's underneath a mansion. Perfect.
It's cooler down there. It's nicer.
Everything I need. I've got a guy here in Chandler, Arizona. He has a bat cave, but they're making him get rid of it.
Why is he not allowed to have it?
Well, the thing is, you know how we're talking about a bat cave and how awesome it would be to be Batman?
Mm-hmm.
He actually built a little cave that has real bats in it.
Oh, it's not allowed in the area.
Well, the HOA, that's the Homeowners Association.
You don't know this. Maybe if you're in a dorm or an apartment still, but if you move out into a house and you're like, I'm free, depending on the housing situation, there might be an association that's still in charge of making sure that people follow some rules. It's what keeps me from having a bear. Like that sort of thing.
I like that that's your go-to example.
It is.
The reason I don't have a bear, it's not money, inconvenience, or fear. It's the HOA.
Now, if you live out farther and you're not like in a subdivision, then there's probably not one. And that's where you're like, how does that person have a lion? Then they don't have someone with rules.
Their HOA is the government, and government don't care.
They don't care what you got.
Maybe they care a little. But
this is where you're at.
This guy, I love this. The EPA, that's the Environmental Protection. No, I'm sorry. It's the Arizona Game and Fish Department. They encourage people to build bat houses in Arizona because, and I did not know this, apparently in Arizona, a big issue is mosquitoes. And what do bats eat? They eat mosquitoes.
Oh, fascinating.
So he built this little thing in his backyard. It looks like almost like an antenna or something, but it's made of wood, and bats will live in it. Well, he built this so that bats would live there and eat up the mosquitoes.
So what's the problem? It seems like he's been following what people were suggesting.
Well, they say it's a nuisance. And, of course...
The bats or the mosquitoes or what he built?
They say what he built. But, like, behind the scenes, the little gossip in the neighborhood is that people are afraid the bats are going to bite them. It's interesting to find out that bat bites are incredibly uncommon, and people are afraid they'll get bit by a bat and get rabies. There are... each year in the United States, between 1 and 3 incidents of someone being bitten by a bat and getting rabies. So the chances of that are
very small,
incredibly slim.
I did not like bats until I saw this one viral video where the baby bat was yawning, and it was so cute. And now I'm not as afraid.
Well, he actually is piping up and saying, hey, guys, I actually have a mama bat in there. We can't
move them.
Like, they'll go crazy if we try to whatever. So we actually have to wait, and they'll migrate later in the year. And then we can take the bat house down.
This seems reasonable. I mean, it's nice to hear it. It seems like he's got his head about with this and knows what he's doing.
He seems like one of those people that come up with smart solutions to problems. I'd be out there like, yeah, we got a mosquito problem, so I bought this flamethrower. I just go out in the backyard and I throw flames for about an hour, and then we don't have mosquitoes for like a whole day.
That does not show a problem with the HOA, so that's why that's allowed.
Nothing in the rules about my flamethrower. Flamethrower, a couple tiki torches. I'm not here to screw around.
Is there any news, like, are they going to let him wait until they migrate? Or
Nah, I don't know. He's still working it out. So he is asking the HOA for more time. Who knows what they'll say? They got a God complex.
It's not like they're,
We live on Olympus Street here on the top of this mountain. We're the HOA. Bring your offerings to the foot of the mountain and we'll let you know.
Just let the little bats be there for a little bit longer.
Yeah, I wouldn't come up with something this smart. I'd come up with something ridiculous. Like, we bombed out. We pulled out all the grass and now we don't have any bugs at all.
That's like you when you had the bee problem in the holes in the ground. You had the bee holes.
I poured gasoline in the bee hole.
Yes. It seems like,
guess what?
No bee hole anymore.
No more bees. I didn't build something to bring bats to eat the bees. I just burn them out.
The Riot's motto, Carpe Cupcake. Those are words to live by. Radio U.
Nikki yesterday had a really big day, and it was the kind of day that on the outside you're like, that's not that big of a day. No, you got to understand, Nikki ended 2 relationships yesterday.
I did.
She'd been in relationships for a long time. And she decided that they were getting toxic. They were taking, not giving really. And so she ended those relationships.
And sometimes you stay in a relationship just to be in a relationship, but then you realize you could do better or you don't need anything at all.
Yep.
Yesterday I had Sling TV for a while. I cut cable a long time ago, and with Sling TV, it was fine. You're adding a lot of extras, so don't believe any company's base price. That's not what you'll be going with.
It's never that.
And so it was $30, $35 a month. So not too much, but that was enough. And I finally logged in yesterday, and I cut that, and that was great because I just haven't been watching it for quite some time.
But you know what, Nikki? Let's talk about your deeper cut.
I am an Apple fan. All my stuff is Apple. I have it all for the most part. I don't have everything.
Show them your tattoo. Go ahead. Don't be ashamed. Just show it to them.
It's here. There it is. But for Apple, I used Apple Music. I switched from Spotify to Apple Music a while ago, like when that launched. And even though I have YouTube Red, YouTube has YouTube Music, which comes with that. So I pay for YouTube Red. And I broke up with Apple Music yesterday. Because since I'm already paying for YouTube Red and music at the same time, I would be saving like $10 a month. And YouTube Red, I spent some time with it last night for YouTube Music. It's just fine. It's fine. You're just learning something new.
It's fine, she says.
It's perfectly fine.
Which is exactly what Apple said when Nikki broke up with her. You know what? It's fine. It's perfectly fine. I'm fine.
You know, then I was starting to look. I was like, man, all my Apple stuff I own is so expensive. I could probably find different versions of everything and save a lot of money. But
slippery slope.
I know it's very slippery.
Slippery slope. You know, my Samsung Galaxy. Well, actually, these days the Samsung Galaxy Tab is. Once they lowered the price on the iPad, it's pretty much the same price.
It's about the same.
Yeah.
I just use my phone mostly, but in my watch and other stuff in my MacBook. I mean, then it's fine.
And the chip she had implanted at the base of her skull.
It's so convenient.
You just see everything.
Scan my head.
It's no big deal.
So, I did that yesterday, and I lived. I was fine.
And so, your take on YouTube Music is that it's okay?
It's fine. It's just different. It's the same thing when I switched from Spotify to Apple Music. The only thing that's weird is you got to learn how to navigate everything.
Sure.
So once you learn the differences of it, then you're in a fine spot.
See, I never use YouTube Music.
The app?
Yeah, because I just use, Google Play Music, which it's pulling from the same source. It's just a different app. And so I should check out the YouTube Music app and play with that a little bit.
You're just, again, getting used to the setup. I will say if you're a Spotify user, you can follow our RadioU playlist on there and our Worst of Riot daily podcast. That is available on everything. Any podcast app, it's available there. It's also on our RadioU Riot YouTube channel, our RadioU Riot Facebook page each day. And now on Spotify, you can sign up and like our Worst of Riot podcast through there.
So our goal is to be everywhere you are.
Yeah, we'll just follow along, and everywhere you're at will be.
We will not stop until your bathroom sink plays the Riot podcast.
Hopefully one day.
The worst of the riot is over, but the fun can keep going.
Hey, I saw you checking out my goods.
Check the Riot blog or stalk us on social media.
You want to sample them? A little try before you buy, huh?
Through riot.radiou.com.
You are no longer a maggot.